And this video is brought to you by my Patreon supporters. Wilting and dying crops down 46% Eastern Australia. This resulted in over a doubling of prices in the last 12 months. Record cold in Japan, super early start to the freeze season. And the Sunspot Observatory in New Mexico closed indefinitely. But why was the FBI with Blackhawk helicopters there? Well, when they're studying the sun and you start to find space environment and decreasing solar activity and things that might just throw global crop production into a tailspin, perhaps that would be your answer. And if you haven't seen all the losses across the planet, please do your own research. The crops are being lost everywhere in staggering amounts. Food prices are going to be up by the end of the year, and the media is going to try to deflect as to why all these changes are happening. But while they're doing that, you can still practice microgreens, sprouts, grow anything indoors, outdoors, heirloom and organic seeds for any grow zone on our planet, thetrueleafmarket.com, Adapt 2030 links below in the description box, as well as many Ice Age conversations, tri-weekly podcasts covering these same issues. You can take it on the go with you, 30 minutes at a time in an audio format. And as we enter into extremely low forecast sunspot numbers for solar cycle 25, not only is the entire amount of solar activity forecast to be less during solar cycle 25 and 26, but the warming is decreasing. Each successive sunspot cycle, the warming is decreasing and the cooling is increasing. You would expect crop losses in early winters and early falls to start pervading our planet, as was forecast as we rolled through the bottom of solar cycle 24. Here we go, Yahoo Japan. It'll cool down to below freezing in Hokkaido. This is the same place we saw all-time earliest record snow on August 18th in Hokkaido Island. They even mentioned that last season the first freeze was recorded September 28th, so this puts it almost half a month before. But get this, Mount Fuji in Asahikawa, earliest recorded freezing temperatures 1888, and Yabukawa 1981. And here we are. Again, some of the earliest cold in Japan recorded this year. Just makes you wonder what type of cycle we're going to be repeating here. And we have that dark blue cluster at the top of Hokkaido Island up there very north. When you come down and get those two blue dots, that's where Sapporo is. They just had a major quake last week. Talking about wilting and dying, Sydney Morning Herald. I did a full crop loss report with the USDA. They were very, shall we say, light-footed talking about Australia last week. And here I understand why now. Straight from the federal government of Australia, crops to be down 46% from last year. Now, if you're going to look at individual areas, Queensland, we're talking about the east and Victoria as well. Forecast to go into extreme drought, and here they are, down 38% and down 29%, just below the wonderful photo there that was included in the article. Australian Bureau of Agricultural Resources Economics, also giving us some more numbers here. This should actually shake you awake if it's not. You have to remember, South Africa is going into almost zero production due to the politics down there. So that's a major grain producer that's going to go to zero. And if we take a look at the numbers here, the total forecast 2018-19, 3.89 million tons. That's not even a quarter of what the massive 14.78 million ton crop was in 2010 and 11. It has dropped that much in this particular area on the planet. Now add in South Africa, add in the massive drought going off in northern China, add in the severe cold, which has decimated at least, at the very minimum, 500,000 acres in Canada. Prices, they're still trying to get the damage estimates in there. And wherever you look across the planet, declines. Central Europe, Eastern Europe, massive drought, declines. It's all adding up. And when you start to see prices like this for milling wheat, more than doubling the price for a ton, what's going on? Futures market's going to start pricing this in, and your food prices are going to be rising exponentially as we move forward through the end of this year and into 2019. It's going to get worse next year. That's the whole thing. It's going to amplify. There's going to be less food next year, and there's going to be less food, less food, shall I say, as we get into 2020, 2021. This is a game changer. This is a reset button for society. Truly it is. I hope you're preparing. It's the reason I'm doing these videos. I'm doing it because I want you to be prepared. Because if you're prepared, we're all more prepared. And this is how we all survive and prosper and thrive together. Now, what's a startling story for me here? Stop sign, yellow crime scene, Sunspot Observatory. Now, this made a round of news, but then was quickly moved off the news cycle. But here it is, something so benign, the Sunspot Observatory. First paragraph says temporarily closed, but then if you dig into the article, the entire facility was vacated and it will stay vacated until further notice. That doesn't really sound like temporarily closed to me. And it goes on further. We don't know when it's going to open yet again. But what was most interesting, buried at the second to last paragraph, the FBI was involved. They're so secretive about it. Blackhawk helicopters up there. A bunch of people running around with antennas, work crews putting up new towers, and nobody would say a thing. So I looked into the solar observatory. It was open to the public, and it's designed for the study of the sun. Now, this makes me think we're going into this grand solar minimum. This is the forecast from Russian Blackhawk Observatory and Dr. Abutamatov's work. What did they see? What did they discover? What did they find that could be of national security interest, talking about food crop losses? I've stated all along, as soon as the economy crashes, you have exactly 1 year before there is not enough food to feed everybody on this planet. Now, it really makes me wonder, first, would they be just cutting off access to the public to view the sun or have any knowledge of? Because this is a fully open to the public observatory. Or is there really something more going on here with the findings that came out? It's just all too quirky that grand solar minimum's intensifying, the new Eddy grand solar minimum. We got all these changes in the sun. The sun's affecting everything from the magnetosphere to the jet streams to the energetic changes on the planet, the frequency vibration that your mind is working through. You're an electromagnetic being as well. And then suddenly, observatory closed and full-on alphabet agencies all over that thing. And with that being said, I am also loading a secondary backup channel on BitChute, Adapt 2030. If you're over there, please subscribe to the channel. I'm just starting. I have about 150 videos up into their platform so far. But the Tri-Weekly Podcast, Mini Ice Age Conversations, up to episode number 105, talking a full 30 minutes about crop losses, government intervention, spinning in the media, how they're going to control everything to avoid a global panic. Excellent episode, number 105, Mini Ice Age Conversations, taken on the go with you, and get informed while you're traveling through your day.